So this is an abstract music video I shot a few months ago, and when I was sharing the behind the scenes clips from this back on Instagram, way back when I did shoot this, a lot of you guys were messaging me there asking me how exactly I went about shooting this and creating this music video, and even more specifically how I lit all the scenes and all the shots in this music video. And I know it might seem like it was some crazy setup to get the shots to look the way they were. It really wasn't. It was actually quite simple. So I'm going to break it all down and I'm going to show you how exactly I lit these shots and shot this entire music video. So let's start with the concept. Francesca and I knew from quite early on that we wanted this to have quite a trippy abstract feel to it. And after a bit of back and forth, we thought it would be cool to have the visually abstract shots take place inside her head as she's struggling with these somewhat dark or depressing thoughts. So we figured it would be cool to have her sitting down outside and the camera slowly zooming into her face and it goes right into her eye, and then finish the video with the reverse of that, zooming out of her eye. The idea of peeking through the curtain with the light blasting through it is the idea of being stuck in the darkness or even a bit of a depression, and the light or good things are trying to break through. This is why early in the video she's being blinded by the light, but rejects it by closing the curtain. Then what follows is her being stuck in the depth and darkness of her thoughts and mind as it continues to fragment and become overwhelming. And finally, at the end of the video, it's almost as if she's finally broken out of this depressive spell and is accepting the good or the light, so she opens the curtains and walks through and smiles, ready to live another day with hope. Yeah, I know that was a pretty out there idea and it just seems like a bit of a crazy concept, but it was just so much fun being able to play with something that's a little bit different, a little more abstract, and a little more out there. So now that we have the concept out of the way, let's dive into the gear that was used to film this music video. As always, let's start with my camera and lens choices. I shot this whole video on my trusty Sony FX3 paired with my favorite lenses, the SLR Magic Microprime Cine set. The FX3 is a no-brainer as it's a really good camera, and the Microprime Cine lenses are great because they have a bit of character. They have beautiful flaring and some other minor imperfections that help give the overall look of the footage a bit more of a film-like look. This pairs wonderfully with a more vintage film-like color grade using something like dehancer to emulate actual film stock and footage shot on film. For the shots with the trippy visuals, I did it all in the camera with the help of a couple of cool little filters. So there's two different filters on my camera lens actually. So the first one, as you can see right there, it's that rainbow star effect. So any bright light source will have that starring effect. And then the second one we have this kaleidoscope effect. So that's just kind of repeating the image in a circle in a kind of ghostly image.
Very cool.
Yeah. I know an effect like this can be achieved in post re-editing, but I don't know, there's just something about the way it looks, having it be an actual real world optical effect that I think just makes it that much better. Oh, and the lighting setup. Very simple. The backlight is just a projector all the way up on top of a ladder up there, projecting this kind of Oppenheimer type explosion-y slow-mo type thing. It's pretty cool. And then just for a little bit of extra fill over there, you've got this panel light on.
Nice.
It's actually not as bright as it seems in the exposure there, but it's a kind of soft, warm light to just fill in the extra light on the front.
Very nice.
And before we jump on over to the filming setups, these next couple of items are absolutely not necessary. They just help make things a lot easier for you when you're on location on set to show your client exactly what you're working on. I use this wonderful monitoring station with the OC Megamon 15 monitor paired with a wireless transmitter from Vaxis. The monitor I have on my camera rig is the A6 from Vaxis, which has wireless transmission capabilities, so when paired with the Vaxis Atom 600 receiver, which easily plugs into the Megamon 15 monitor, you can see everything my camera sees on the big monitor, all from afar with no wires connected to my camera.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And I was playing with focus too, where like I don't want the whole thing to necessarily be in focus, so I was kind of throwing it in and out too as we're moving around just to kind of create that more dreamy effect.
That's so cool.
Dude, looks sick.
And if you're interested in checking out any of these products, you can check out the links in the description below. Now, quick disclaimer, they are affiliate links, so if you do choose to buy something through those links, I will get a small commission. So it's just a great way to help support this channel, if you want to, but you don't have to. Alright, with the gear out of the way, let's get to the different filming setups. For this first setup right over here, I kept things very simple. First, I started with the light that would be shining through the curtains onto her face. For this, I used a home theater projector and used this video clip of these abstract shapes moving around with a bluish greenish color. Then I got two C-stands with the arms extended out all the way and hung up a couple of blackout curtains on them. Because there was no other light source other than what was coming out of the projector, I wanted to add a bit of light on her right side here and add a bit of color contrast, so I set up my Sony T120 extendable tube light to a warm orangey color and aimed it at her right side.
How is it pronounced?
Sure. Not C-Ruby, it is Sure. Sorry to that guy who commented on my video. I'm not trying to be an ass, but like, when you try to tell somebody how something's pronounced with such confidence and certainty, you should do the research and look up how it actually is pronounced. So again, that kind of made me look it up, and I found it pretty easily and pretty quickly. So I forgot who you are, I don't know your name, but it's Sure. Called you out. As you can see, this added a nice bit of contrast while allowing you to actually see her and not have her just fall off into complete darkness. And that was it for this shot. Now for the reverse over the shoulder of this shot, which you can see right here, I kept everything the same but added a bit of haze between the curtains and the projector to add this beautiful light beam coming through the slit in the curtains. Okay, now let's jump on over to the next setup, which also involves the curtains, and it's a very similar setup to the previous one we just looked at. It's essentially the exact same setup, but this time we just moved Francesca to the other side of the curtains, having her be between the curtains and the projector. I also moved the tube light to the other side of the curtains, but left it on the same side of the room, so it was now lighting her left side instead of her right side. I wanted this to visually look different than the earlier shot with the orange fill light, so I set the color of the tube light to a greenish color, but reduced the saturation of it quite a bit to emulate more of like an old school fluorescent light. The color also matched quite nicely with the backlight and really complemented it well, so I was happy with how that turned out. And guys, before I move on to the next setup here, if you're finding this at all useful in any way whatsoever, or if you even have any questions, make sure to drop me a comment down below letting me know. And if you're feeling extra nice today, why don't you consider hitting that like and subscribe button? It would be much appreciated. Alright, next we'll take a look at what I call the projector setups. These are the shots whose primary focus is the background image that's being projected onto the background and on Francesca. I was kind of inspired by the close-up shots of the particles and whatnot from Oppenheimer, as I had just watched at the time of filming this video, and I really wanted to play with the different effects and colors of it all. So this is where it was time to get really creative. So to help me find all of the images and videos to project onto these scenes right over here, that brings me to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Artlist. All these clips are from Artlist, and they actually have a new membership, I guess, called Artlist Max. So it actually includes not just sounds or sound effects and music, but it actually has a bunch of stock footage and cool video clips like this.
Very nice.
Hopefully you can hear me because I'm went away from me.
Ooh.
Now it's probably a little easier, but yeah, you can get a lot of clips like this from Artlist Max. If you could even see me, I don't know, who knows. But you can probably hear me better now.
Yes.
Anyway, lots of cool stuff there. It's an all-encompassing, membership, and you get the license to use all this stuff, not just for YouTube or social media, but for commercial projects as well. So like this is a music video for a client, so I could use this for that without getting a licensing strike or copyright strike.
Cool. Awesome. That's cool. And on top of all these stock footage, Artlist also has templates, plugins, sound effects, and a huge library of music that you can use for not only your personal projects, but for all your commercial and client projects as well. So if you're interested in checking out Artlist, you can head on over to the link in the description down below to get 2 months entirely free when you sign up for a yearly subscription. So I settled on a few different video patterns to project onto Francesca and onto the scene, and I just shot entire takes of the song that way with each one. This orange one right over here is what I used to do the kaleidoscope effect shots, as I thought it looked really cool with the warm coloration. I also used the kaleidoscope effect on my final projector setup, which I shot in a couple of different ways. These 3 types of shots were all backlit by the projector with no other lighting involved and only a bit of haze in the background, which not only allowed me to get the amazing beams of light, but helped add a little bit of fill to the shadow side of the image. So here's the first backlit look, which utilized more of a rainbow type effect. Here's the second look, which utilized a blue and purple look for the backlight. And finally, here's the same backlit look, but with the kaleidoscope filter on it. Beautiful.
Woohoo! Are we done in the studio?
I think so.
Yay! Woo! Woo!
September weather.
There we go. Have to get the BTS person because, you know, that was filming. Ooh, Roberto's in the dark there. Can't really see him too well.
I'm staring at the trippiness.
Yeah, I'm filming my own BTS right now. Alright, the final setup we're going to be talking about here right now is the outdoor section where Francesca is just sitting on the curb outside. I made sure to find a setting that I didn't have to light at all, so we found this nearby plaza with a lot of stores and restaurants and happened to find a Denny's diner which had the perfect light quality outside their building. I thought it fit well with the old school sodium vapor fluorescent neon look we were going for, and I liked that there were already neon type lights off in the background out of focus. I wanted there to be enough contrast between light and dark on her face and body, so I angled her away from the lights a bit, which created a beautiful shadow side to her face, as you can see right here. And just to touch on an earlier point about the lenses I chose, this shot here helps remind me why I always choose these lenses. Just look at the quality of the image. It's not overly sharp, with a bit of a vintage softness to it, and just look at the quality of the bokeh in the background. Here's that character that I was talking about. You can see a bit of fringing and chromatic aberration here, but I don't think it's a bad thing. And I just love the shape and look of the bokeh these lenses produce. So yeah, anyway, this setup was super simple, not having to do any of my own lighting.
Are we done?
I think so.
Oh,
We're out in this random parking lot outside of Denny's.
yay, that's a wrap. Woo!
That's video number 5?
Yeah. Whoa.
Number 5.
Yeah. Thank you guys. This was like, I know I say like everyone is my favorite one, but this one, like, I think it's gonna be hard to top.
I feel like I love them all for different reasons.
Nice work, everyone.
Alrighty.
That is a wrap.
That's a wrap. So hopefully this showed you how you can get creative with a minimal budget and by using simple lighting setups to get a very high quality look. If you want to check out the full music video, make sure to head on over to Francesca's channel, which you can find linked below. She's absolutely amazing, and I swear she's gonna blow up soon. You heard it here first. And yeah, well, I think that's it for today. I hope you learned something new here, and I hope you just enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now.